Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Dr. Lana Monahan, and I am a homeowner in Columbus Square. And I'm also a public health advocate. I work for the state. And so I have never seen a circumstance like this. And I would like to describe from my unique perspective as a mother of young children and a dog mom that day for me. And so waking up without any notice and having my children outside at our park, and I'm sure Austin and Ryan, this will resonate with you. My children are 15 months. The very premise and desire for us to live in Columbus Square is because our community is walkable. It is centered on our parks. Rough estimates, maybe 1 out of 3 of our families have animals. We walk past that hangar every single day. And that's how we know each other, really. When people visit our community, the one thing they will say is, wow, you live here. These are your amenities. This is how you socialize and work together. And the second thing they say is, what is that building? And we all describe, well, that's the hangar and what it means to us. And so going back to that day, my children were outside. My nanny came in and told me the hangar, that thing over there, it's on fire. And so, I was ill prepared and maybe I should have reacted, but I'll tell you something. Every single day, I think as a mother, what could have I done to protect my children? And I was looking to you, all of you, to have a plan in place. And as my neighbors have emphasized, this, perhaps the word isn't predictable, but certainly on your horizon, running for these positions, you were well aware of the relationship with the Navy and the preparation, the foresight, and the thought that needed to take place to address this. And so I believe that this team may be underqualified to take us to where we need to go. And echoing some of those sentiments that have been said today, maybe that looks like a different path forward. And I have heard reasonably what we need to do for decontamination, containment, but I'll tell you right now, there's asbestos in my house. And that day I didn't know. I stood out there and took pictures. I took videos. I was astonished by this multi-ton building burning. And it just didn't come top of mind, even as someone who's formally trained in crisis communication, that I would need to react because I was relying on you to provide the message. And although you have been reactive, and I've seen the progression in the language and the communication, in the website, the portal, it's not working. I personally held and convened community meetings, of which you showed up and rolled your eyes at some moments. And so it's not working. And together we need to change the behavior, the communication. And then going back to that day again as a point in time, the problem of the hangar being on fire is one, but the lack of trust is almost overshadowing where we're at today. Please, Ryan and Austin, describe a future for me living in that community, raising our children together who will grow up together. How do I take Joey and Jay back to my home that has asbestos in it? How do I do that? I don't know the answer, and I quite frankly don't know if you do. And so that's why I'm imploring you to engage individuals who do, who have more experience at the extent of this type of unique public health crisis. I love the idea of staying flexible. That's a built-in structure of public health. No crisis is ever the same. And so we'll learn from this. But I do not want to be a use case in 40 years or a mesothelioma commercial about how the community didn't change the behavior and allowed individuals to point blame and stay in their homes and have no succinct, cogent plan based on data that would allow us to come together and understand it. It's great that we have these contradictory statements about staying in our home with the windows closed, running our air, not running our air, and then you're telling us that the air outside based on the EPA data is fine. I don't know what that means anymore. And again, I'm formally trained to analyze data like this, to communicate to professionals and to the utmost vulnerable. And so putting this all together, I'm confused, I'm frustrated, and more than anything, I'm fearful. I do not see a path forward now, and I'm looking for you to lead that. And if you cannot do that, that's a form of servant leadership, recognizing that you've met your mark and you need to rely on others. And so I would ask you to take into deep consideration the future of us raising our children together and what that path forward looks like. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.